0, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so let's talk about this Epstein situation. This is a situation that I didn't think was even going to come back, to be honest with you. Like, the whole Epstein thing was big news around the time that the event occurred, right, in his prison cell. And everybody back then was kind of just universally on the same team, right? It didn't matter if you were Republican or Democrat or Independent or Libertarian or whatever. Everybody just agreed that this is really bad and we all want to know what's going on with this thing, right? And then it kind of faded away over time because they told us that they were investigating and that they were still finding things out and blah, 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 blah. They just waited for us to kind of forget, you know? And we did, as with everything. Literally, we forget everything. It's ironic that, 9/11, never forget, blah, blah, blah. We forget everything. It just takes enough time. So everybody forgot about Epstein for the last, I don't know, how long has it been? Years and years and years. And then suddenly this year, well, I guess I should say last year, everybody started talking about it again. And why did they start talking about Epstein again? Because Kash Patel started talking about Epstein, because Dan Bongino started talking about Epstein, because Pam Bondi started talking about Epstein, because Trump started talking about Epstein, because of everyone around Trump talking about Epstein. Literally every single person that in the last couple of weeks has come out and told us to stop talking about Epstein, those are the people who got us onto the subject to begin with. Epstein had completely been wiped out of the American mind, other than, some people would occasionally still talk about it, but it was not this mainstream topic of discussion anymore. It was long gone as far as that's concerned. That's not a good thing and that's not okay. I'm just saying that's what happened. Epstein was out of everybody's minds. And then they put it back into our minds, only to then turn around and gaslight us with this idea that they brought back into the cultural, mindset. Like, isn't that insane? It's one of those situations where it shows you that there is a bigger picture and that there is a script and there is a plan. It's just, you don't know what it is and you'll never know what it is because we are not a part of, the global elite that are running this entire scam. It's situations like this that show you, hey, there's a bigger thing going on. You're not even close to being able to understand it, which is why nothing makes sense. And here's just an example of that. You know what I mean? Trump was louder than anybody about the Epstein stuff right up until he got elected. And now all of a sudden the story's different. And I waited to cover this story too, because over the last week and a half or 2 weeks that this whole thing's been developing, it has changed over and over and over and over again. But as of right now, Trump's most recent statement is him tripling, quadrupling down on, you're a bad person if you even want to know what's going on with the Epstein files. The same guy who would not shut up about Hillary and her emails for years is now telling us, hey, stop talking about Epstein. We've talked about it enough. Like, dude, of all the people to try to tell us stop talking about anything, to hear it coming from Trump is wild. You know what I'm saying? It makes the gaslighting just 10,000 times more potent because it's like, dude, you are the king of never letting anything go. And now you're telling us, hey, let it go. And the thing that you want us to let go is the most horrifying, ridiculously, horrific thing that can ever happen. That's the thing that you want us to let go and forget about. And it's the fact that Trump is trying to roll this all in with Russiagate and all of like the Comey file, like he's really trying to make it seem like this is just some leftist plot, when in reality it was never even a partisan issue. You know what I'm saying? This was never left versus right, ever. You go all the way back to the beginning of this situation, before Epstein had even been arrested. This was not an issue of left versus right. And now he's digging his heels in and trying to make it sound like, oh, well, anything that's in here, you know what? Let him have whatever's legitimate, but everything else, meh. You know, isn't it weird how all of a sudden everybody's suggesting that he might be in there, and now because Trump knows what the public thinks. You know what I'm saying? He's not one of those politicians who just ignores what everybody says. He cares what everybody says because he's got an ego the size of the planet. So he knows everybody's saying like, hey, Trump's probably on the list. That's why he doesn't want it out. And then here he comes saying, well, yeah, the list is fake. Everything on the list is, you know, the Democrats wrote it. It's all a lie. It's all a scam. So we shouldn't even talk about the list anymore. It's like, dude, we just said you might be on the list, and now all of a sudden you're saying the list is fake. And now and then you're changing your story as you go, like, oh, well, you know, maybe there's some real stuff on there, but there's a lot of fake stuff on there too. So like, let's just give you the real stuff and let's keep the fake stuff away from you. It's like, so what you're really saying is you're on the list. You don't want us to know that you're on the list. You're going to do everything in your power to keep us from seeing that you're on the list. But then if we ever do manage to see it, you're going to claim that you were put there by Hillary. That's insane. Dude, we are literally living through a chapter of frickin' Orwell's 1984. It's something straight out of science fiction, political science fiction. But it's real. You have to wonder, what did they say to Bongino and Patel and Bondi to get them to fall in line? Because they all played the same song and dance during the campaign. They all said the same thing. Oh, there's a list. We're all looking at the list. We're investigating the list. Everyone's getting investigated. And then the snap of Trump's fingers, they flip and they're right there towing the line of, there was never a list. I don't even know what a list is. What's a list? Liste? How do I pronounce that word? List? I've never heard of a list before. Like, it's crazy. You know, they genuinely think that we, the masses, are just dumb, incredibly dumb. And I mean, to be fair, there is a lot of dumb people out there. And there's an unfortunate amount of people out there who actually believe the story that's being sold to us. I don't know how that's possible, but NPCs exist in real life, essentially. You know what I mean? In the same way that there are people who blindly support, you know, the left or the right or whatever, there are huge amounts of people that will just blindly support Trump no matter what he does. And this is wild, because this is like, we knew you'd support Trump no matter what. We just didn't realize that you would even support Trump in a situation revolving around one of the most heinous crimes a person can commit. So inevitably from here, the question becomes, where do we go, right? Over the last week or two, a significant amount of people have been black-pilled and left politically homeless, right? There's nowhere that you can go when both sides are willing to protect these types of people and do it directly to your face while telling you that nothing's happening, right? So a lot of people over the last 2 weeks have found out that there really isn't anyone that you can trust, and that's a good thing. It's good that these people are finally figuring this out. Some of us have realized this a long time ago. You know, some of us knew that you can't trust these people, but situations like this are perfect for opening up people's eyes, and that's exactly what happened. So where do you go? What do? You can't trust the Republicans, you can't trust the Democrats, you can't trust the people in the middle. Who do you trust? You trust in Jesus Christ. That's who, because he doesn't change, okay? Jesus Christ offers us the gift of salvation freely, and anyone can have it. All you have to do is believe in him. So take the black pill. Remember that the world around you is only going to be filled with darkness more and more every day. We're not heading towards a golden age. We are heading towards the collapse of civilization, okay? Take the black pill because that's the real world that you live in. And then once you swallowed that, take the J pill, okay? It's time to stop messing around with red team and blue team, and it's time to grow up and join Team Jesus because it's the only team that matters. It's the only team that's going to get you anywhere, okay? Jesus doesn't change. His opinion isn't different now than it was 6,000 years ago, okay? His opinion is exactly the same from the moment that he created this universe all the way until eternity. So there's no concern about, oh, well, is he going to flip-flop on this or that or blah, blah, blah. No, he's the rock that you can build your foundation on, okay? He is the one that you can rely on no matter what in every single situation. So I'm just going to end on that. This Epstein stuff, I don't even know what we as citizens of the country can do. I know what we're capable of. But whether or not anything like that will happen is, I just don't see enough people having the guts to make the necessary things happen. But no matter what, even if our world is being run by predatory vampires, at the end of the day, no matter what happens, you can always see through all the darkness by using Jesus as your light, okay? So I'm just going to end it on that. Forget about Epstein for now. Don't forget about Epstein. Obviously, we need to keep pressing these people until they do something. But I'm saying don't count on anything good to come out of that situation. Don't count on these people to do the right thing, okay? So forget about the idea that anything good's going to happen. Accept that only bad is going to come out of this situation and just find Jesus. That's all I'm going to talk about. This is kind of a bummer subject, but it's just, like I said, it's a good way for a lot of people's eyes to be opened up all at once. So I'll see you guys in the next one.